Dad, Daddy, Dad, Dad.
What?
I love you, Dad.
Oh, okay. Love you too.
I think the teacher said to her, if anything happens, don't fight him back. Come and tell me. But I've told her, listen,
Defend yourself.
someone's fighting in school, fight them.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
100%.
teachers can come and tell me off. I'll sit in detention with you.
Yeah. Welcome back to Relatable Dads Unscripted, figuring out fatherhood one honest conversation at a time. My name's Ruel. This guy's...
Oh, man.
This guy...
Just carry on, fuck it.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, mate.
I don't even know why I'm laughing.
This guy's got problems. Anyway, so today we're talking about bullying, which just seems like a very serious subject, but it feels like it's not going to be as serious as it perhaps should be. It's fine.
Nah.
I don't even know what's wrong with this guy.
I know.
I think the Red Bull's kicked in.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Right. So anyway,
right.
Today we're talking about bullying. All right. So we've got some subjects to talk about. What's going on? Okay. I'm not cutting any of this out. I'm not even cutting any of it out. I'm leaving it. We haven't said anything funny.
I'm laughing.
All right. It's proper hot in here, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, mate.
And we're both pretty tired. And before we did this, and these lights are proper bright, right? And we just both banged loads and loads of Red Bull.
Oh, all right. Let's do
So
this.
it's it.
I've got
Anyway.
this down.
Mm-hmm. So we're good as gold.
All right. So today we're talking about bullying. I know I'm starting this episode off very serious, but I am a very serious guy. So today, bullying.
Bullying.
So we've got some subject points that we want to go over.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got, like, as always, a little quiz for you.
Classic. I feel like I'm on a quiz show half the time.
Yeah, you should. All right, so I've just got these off the internet randomly, all right?
All right, fair play.
So bear with. Bullying usually ends within how many time frame if someone intervenes? 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds?
I'm going to go like 10 seconds. As soon as someone actually gets involved and someone says something, it's not got 10 seconds.
Oh, you've done well.
Yes.
Well done.
I was bullied a lot. I wasn't. But
All right. How many students between the ages of 12 and 18 report that they've experienced bullying? 1 in 5, 1 in 10, 1 in 3.
I'm going to go for 1 in 5.
Correct.
Oh, I'm banging this out.
Raw. I'm surprised.
Oh, I'm good at this.
No,
I'm an expert on being bullied. Or bullying, clearly.
more being bullied. All right, so this is one which is like a bit more modern.
All right.
Cyberbullying is on the up, with the number of children and young people tormented by online trolls having increased by 50%, 66%, 88%, or 90%.
I kind of lost where he was going with the question, but I'm going to just guess the middle one. There was a lot in there. There's a lot of percentages in there. I'm going to go for 88%. Is that one of them?
Ugh. That's 3 out of 3. I can't believe you got that right.
Oh, yes. Surely a guess. Not even joking. It's an absolute guess.
Which one sounded more 88%? Yeah.
You said a lot of percentages. I lost.
That was only you said 4.
Yeah, but it was a lot of words.
Fair enough. All right, so yeah, you actually got 3 out of 3. I'm well surprised.
I'm a smart guy, bro.
We've already established. You said if it's not joints, muscles, or tendons, don't ask me. Oh, parkour. Don't ask me questions.
I'm lying.
I was suggested like
Evidently bullying.
well, lying as well. Fuck me, I need sunshades. All right, so story about bullying is the next subject point.
All right.
So,
Well, I mean, I can kick it off.
yeah, you go.
I got a brilliant story about bullying.
Wow.
Right. So basically, right, when I started secondary school, actually, when I went into secondary school, from middle school, like, I wasn't like popular kid. I was never a popular kid, but I wasn't like, but I never was bullied. I never had any issues. I was friends with everyone. And I was kind of, my brother was like one of the hardest kids in the school, if you like. So I was kind of scared of no one anyway. Not that he ever would, no one knew he was my brother or anything, but I was kind of not scared of anyone. I've always kind of had this kind of thing. I fear no man sort of thing. So when I went into secondary school, there was this kid. His name was Kieran. You could light bulb head he had, right? But he used to try and we got in there.
I got beat shy.
No, he didn't. No, what happened is I was probably pretty mouthy, in all honesty. But basically, I remember going in. We used to sit in these at these doors. At the school we went to, just chill at these where these doors were. We just chilled there, and this kid used to keep walking by, just pushing all my mates. And I was just like, mate, who the hell do you think you are? Because I didn't really see him as like a threat to me. I was like, who do you think you are? Don't be pushing my friends around. And then he tried to grip me up. He gripped me up a couple of times. And I was just like, I was not scared of him. I never backed down to him once. But I never forget, we were sitting around a dinner table. And then my mum was like, how's your first few days at school? First week at school. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's been all right. And then any problems? And then I was like, well, there's this one guy. I said to my sister, it's one guy called Kieran. And I was like, and she was like, what, Kieran? And he was in her class. And I was like, yeah, he just kind of tries to bully my mates and stuff. Tries to be push us out of the way and make us feel a bit rubbish. And then my sister like, what? Right, that's it. My mum was like, well, you're going to deal with it. Because my mum was like, you're going to deal with it, or someone's dealing with it, sort of thing. And then so my sister's like, no, I'll sort that. So the next day I go to school, I'm thinking, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. So then she comes over to me at lunch break and she's like, right, Rue, where's this kid? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, right, come onto the field, go and tell me where he is. So she's like, this is in the middle of school, right? So she walks up and there's all these kids playing football, right? And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's him. Yeah. She's like, you sure it's him? And I was like, yeah, that's the guy. So she literally goes up to him. This guy is in the middle of playing football with all of his mates, right? The massive team of people on this big field. She grabs him up. She comes up to him. Kieran, come here. And then she literally just grabs him by his throat, bruv. Literally yeets him in the air, slams him on the ground, says, you ever threaten my brother or do anything to my brother again, I'll kick the shit out of you, right? She hits him, she's on the floor, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then literally gets up, and then she hits me and says, just in case you did anything to deserve it. She's a psychopath. I'll grant you that, right? But I was like, well, my mate's like, why did she hit you? I was like, I don't know. She's like, just in case I did something to get bullied. I don't know. But yeah, but she was nuts. My sister just didn't ramp. And the kid was never had an issue with him. So what's she like now? Yeah. That's probably more me looking after her now, I suppose. Oh, being a bit bigger than her, got the guns out now. Only a little bit. But yeah, so that was my fun story about being bullied when I first went to secondary school. There was another story, but I'll tell you that later.
Oh, fair.
How about you?
I was actually never bullied. I was never a bully either. I was always the one who would have the banter, maybe take it a bit too far sometimes, but I just have banter with people. I've always just been very sharp with my tongue. So I'd be like, yeah, just fucking ruin people verbally. But in a jokey kind of way, which...
But the other person is fully on crying.
Well, probably looking back on it, people will be like, that is probably a form of bullying. But, as I've got older, I've always been I've always caveated, never take anything I say seriously. And I never mean to offend anyone.
Yeah.
I'll rip the shit out of you constantly, but I never mean to hurt you.
I know that for sure.
I never mean to hurt you. I never mean to be, offensive to you. I just doing it for a laugh. But if you do get offended, then let me know and I'll apologise. Yeah. And I always say that now. And I'm like, don't ever take anything I say serious because I'm literally 99% of the time, I'm just always looking to take the piss out of someone.
Do you know, and that's actually brings me on to my next story because that's kind of what I was like as a kid as well. So as I got more confident in secondary school, there was another story where I was doing exactly what you're saying, right? And I was like, Jimmy, biggest kid in the school. For some reason, I thought that was hilarious. I was the smallest kid in the school. I was absolutely tiny, skinny. My mum used to call me Mowgli, but we won't go into that detail. I was skinny at school. Mowgli is... Yes.
That's your name,
it's
bro.
It's Aborigine, isn't it?
I don't know. Bulldog, you're Mowgli. That's your animal care. That's what you should have been on tag. Mowgli. Your jungle book.
Anyway,
we were
moving off. Red pants. I used to have red pants doing it. Anyway, I don't know why we got into this. So, why am I giving you this? I'm giving him ammunition, right? I'm not even talking about it anymore. Anyway, right?
You're rude.
So anyway, so this kid, right? I'm outside science, and we're all in line waiting to go out, and I'm just he's right next to me, and this kid Jimmy, and I'm just absolutely nailing him with jokes, and everyone's laughing, and for once, everyone I had all the girls laughing with me. Very rarely. Okay.
Usually laughing at you.
Normally laughing at me, not even joking, bro. But anyway, I wasn't particularly popular with the girls at school anyway. But anyway, so mixed race wasn't popular then. It's popular now. Wasn't popular then. You know it's true as well. You know it's true.
So I grew up a very different mixed race life because
Okay, you and
I'm mixed race, black.
Yep. You're a dick. You're a dick. Anyway, right? So
Little skinny Indian boy. You ain't getting no shit.
you do realize we have an Indian audience, right?
No. I love you Asians. My missus is a quarter Pakistani and quarter Afghan, so I'm allowed to say what I want.
Okay.
My kids are pandas,
Okay. Well,
black, white, and Asian. So I'm allowed. Literally, I can cover all bases.
so that just enables you to absolutely nail everyone.
What? I'm not being racist. I love you. You're Indian.
I'm not Indian. Anyway, right?
All right.
So I'm mugging this kid off Jimmy, right? I'm having a proper, I know, literally. This is an episode about bullying and you're genuinely just bullying. I'm walking off set in a minute. Off set and all.
Stage right.
Yeah. That's my garden.
Bro, you're professionals, man.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry. Anyway, let's get back to my story, right?
Sorry.
So, I'm sitting there taking the mick out of this kid, Jimmy, right? And I'm laughing around. Next thing I know, I turn around and Jimmy's right behind me anyway. I didn't care. I was like, yeah, I'm laughing around Jimmy. I turn around and as I turn, I just get bang in my face, right? All I know is I'm now on the floor, right? Jimmy's a big dude, right? And I'm dropped to the ground. Everyone's like, obviously gone into science at this point. I've stepped off the ground. Like, my teacher comes out, what's happened? And I was like, I don't know. I was taking a piss out of Jimmy. This thing, my jaw was on the floor. And anyway, so it turns out Jimmy punched me in the mouth. And do you know what? To this day, fair play to him. I'd have punched me in the mouth, to be fair. I definitely deserved it.
So your sister didn't get involved that time, no?
Huh?
Your sister didn't get involved.
She didn't get involved. I didn't get my sister involved. I was year 10.
You'd have got banged out by your sister.
I would have done it twice. But yeah, so I think at that point, I realised that I'm a mouthy little shit and probably need to rein it in a little bit. I was getting a little too cocky. I think that's probably what it was. So that's kind of my story. I had a bit of time when I was, you get to a point, I think certain points in your life, you kind of think you're a bit better than you are. And it's humbling, really. I suppose it was humbling. I didn't start a fight back with him. I didn't go, oh yeah, you hit me. I was just like, you know what? Fair play, Jimmy, mate. And we shook hands at the end and I was like, and the teacher was, well, you got in trouble, to be fair. Which is quite funny as well, because I got nothing. But anyway.
So I very rarely got into physical fights in school. I remember we had an actual fight. He tried to hit me with like a wooden block. So I ended up just smashing him in DT, I think it was. Yeah.
It's always DT.
Yeah. He hit me with some wooden block. I was being a bit of a prick. I think I splashed water at him and he hit me with his wooden block in the back of my head. I was like, raw. So I just gripped him up and beat him up a bit. And then I got kicked out of class. But then I was the victim in that because he hit me first. So I was like, yes, that's it really physical wise. But more so as parents, my eldest daughter, Ivy, she's very soft. Mm-hmm. She's not like a physical person at all. And she's very kind-hearted and I think she's a pleaser. Yeah. So I've always been a bit nervous about her being bullied. Mm-hmm. She's not necessarily being bullied at school, but she used to have problems with this little girl from the moment she started at school. Yeah. Problems with this little girl every time. Anytime she'd come home upset or there was something going on with her at school, always this girl's name coming up in my head. Mm. So it went on, and now she's in year 6 now. So this was last year while she's in year 5. So since reception, she's been having problems with the same kid. And then we've told her teacher every year, can you sort this out? Don't let them sit with each other. Don't let them play with each other because it's constantly them two are butting heads. And then 2 days in a row, she come home from school and she loves going to school. 6 weeks holiday. By the time it gets to 4 weeks, she's like, when am I going back to school? Yeah. She loves school. So there's 2 days in a row she came home and she was just like, X has done this, X has done that. I was like, nah, done this. So the next day I went up to the school and I went up to the mum. And me and the mum have seen each other across the playground. I've been going to the same school for 4 years, whatever. So it's always been amicable, hi, blah, blah. So I've gone over to her and I had roll in my hands. And I went over to her and I was like, oh, excuse me, can I go over? She was like, yeah, no problem. So I was like, your daughter, Ivy, have been constantly butting heads. Oh, yeah, she's been saying the same thing about, I highly doubt that because Ivy won't even stand up to her sister in the house. So I can't imagine she's not gonna. She's a very sweet girl.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool, like whatever. But just can we make a pact here that your kid stays away from my kid and my kid stays away from your kid, and girls, you stay away from each other, and let's just leave it as that.
Yeah.
How I'm speaking to you now is how I spoke to a woman.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, that's fine, blah, blah, blah. So I was just a bit pissed off because she was trying to blame my unit. So I was like, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
So I left, nothing more about it. The next day, a phone call from the school.
I knew it. I knew this was
Bro, got a phone call from the school. You was being intimidating to a mum in the playground. I was like, I wasn't. Dan's in the background. I wonder if he was white, she'd say the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, 100%. Like, how I just spoke to you then is how I spoke to the mum in it.
Yeah.
I didn't swear, I didn't raise my voice, I wasn't aggressive, I wasn't anything. I just said to her, look, deal with
your kid.
I'll make sure my kid don't come near your kid.
100%.
You make sure your kid don't come near my kid. Let's not talk, innit? I don't want to talk to people. I just want to go there, pick up my and go home.
Yeah.
So then I said this to the woman, and how I said it then is how I spoke to her. And then the head teachers ring me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, we've had the same conversation. Oh, can you just come to us then first time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I tried to come to you
several times for several years.
And you lot done nothing about it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. That's your own teachers.
Yeah.
I've tried to speak to you about it. You haven't sorted out the situation. So this was last year. You think I've had any problems since that day? And it's like, this is where parents need to get involved with their kids and have that open line of communication with their kids to be like, what's going on at school? Because I know Ivy loves school. So from time she's like, I don't want to go to school.
Yeah, you know, there's
something going on.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so thankfully we have a very good communication between, like a good chain of communication between me, Dan, Ivy, Sienna, but not Rose so much yet. But
yeah.
Like, if there's something going on, tell me. I'll work it out for you.
Yeah. And
I don't mind. I'll fight. Like, bro, I swear to God, I'll fight people in the playground. So Sienna.
I was wondering when this bit would come out.
No,
I will fight them all.
No, I don't. Try to hurt my child? Nah, I don't give a fuck. Someone's getting fucked up. Like, I remember this kid was annoying. So this kid played football with Sienna.
Yeah.
And then them two was like locking horns on the football pitch. Like, he's a boy, and he's physically tried to fight my daughter on the football pitch.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, that ain't running. So then, but to be fair, she's my unit, so she held her own. She fought the guy as well. So then the next day, because this is on a Sunday, so the next day on a Monday, I went into the school. I was just like, listen, can you just keep an eye on this boy and my daughter, because I don't know if anything will happen, but something happened yesterday and I don't want it to continue in this way at school, innit? So can you just keep an eye on this boy and my daughter?
Yeah, right thing to do.
Yeah, so my daughter come out of school the next day and I said to her, you all right? She was like, oh yeah, like the teacher had a go at me. I was like, why? She was like, oh, because she basically fought back with the boy, innit?
Oh.
So she's like, oh, if anything, so I think the teacher said to her, if anything happens, don't fight him back. Come and tell me. But I've told her, listen.
Defend yourself.
Someone's fighting you in school, fight them.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
100%.
Teachers can come and tell me off. I'll sit in detention with you.
Yeah.
Because, like, I swear, that's the thing. With all my kids, I said to them, if you have any problems in school and you're not at fault, I've always got your back.
Yeah.
I will do the detention for you. I will sit there and be like, what? What do you want me to do? I'll write lines. What do you want me to do? I don't care. Like, my kid ain't getting in trouble for something I've told him to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's my household. I run my own household.
Yeah.
You run how you want to run your house, and you run how you run your school. But ultimately, if someone strikes my child is hitting them back twice as hard.
This is it. I think it's important, like, to have that with kids. I mean, I know with my kids, Callan's the same, super, super gentle, never hurt anyone, never wants to fight anyone back. I never forget even when Corey was young, and Corey would hit him, and then Callan would go to hit him back, and it'd just be like the gentlest hit. And we're like, no, you push him if he's going to push you, give him a little push back. You know what I mean? Teach him a little bit. And then Callan would never hurt him. So he's always been so gentle. But I'm always like, look, at the end of the day, if someone, I'm not saying to you go and fight. I'm not saying to you go out and cause a fight. But I would say defend yourself at all costs. So you should always defend yourself, and I would never let anyone. I never want him to let anyone just come up and hit him. At the end of the day, defend yourself. Don't be a dick at school. Ultimately, that's what I always tell him. Don't be a dick. If you are being a dick and you get hit like I did, then expect to get a hit. But if you're just genuinely being you and you're some kids trying it on or hit you or something, then you need to defend yourself. And if it takes violence to do that in some way, shape, or form, then you're going to have to, because you have to meet the force with force. Otherwise, you're going to overcome, and it's too late by that point. From when they've battered you, and then now you're the kid that's been beaten up, and then when the teacher comes in at that point, it's too late. So I'll always encourage my kids to fight back, to defend themselves with an equal force. I would normally say.
Well, I've said to all my kids, if you get bullied, come and tell me, and I'll always want you to fight back. But if I ever find out you're bullying someone else,
oh yes,
me and you having problems.
Yeah, for sure.
My kids aren't bullies, innit?
Yeah.
So I've always said, like, if I ever find out you're bullying someone, it's a problem in this house. Like, that's not acceptable.
100%
at all. But and I've told her, like, I don't mind you standing up for someone else as well. Like, I've got your back. 100% I've got your back, because I want to be proud of them and them, like, look up. Like, I've seen it in the playground before where Ivy has had problems with a kid. And Sienna's been like, don't talk to my sister like that.
Yeah. That's what you want.
Sienna's the younger one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm like, go on, Sienna. Proud of you. You know what I mean?
But that's what you want. You want them to defend what they believe in. Ultimately, to defend what they believe in and be passionate about what they believe in, and also look after the little people, and defend the smaller people that can't defend themselves. Of course you do, because you defend what's right. And I think I try to bring my kids up in that way as well. I wouldn't say, I mean, they probably would, but I wouldn't say they would get too much involved, my lot, to be honest. Again, they're not really, the crazy thing about even like Callum and Jada, both of them, they're very strong kids. I mean, Callum was banging out like 30 chin-ups and stuff with me every day. Like, he's a strong kid, but he doesn't think he's strong. So he gets people that come up to him. I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, this kid's like, it's been horrible to me. I'm like, bro, I look at them and I'm like, that kid. I'm like, I got bullied by the big dude.
The same you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, bro. He's like, yeah, but when we're playing basketball, he pushes me. I'm like, what pushes your ass back? And he's like, no, but I'll get in trouble. I'm like, you ain't getting. You're going to get in trouble if you don't push him. 100%. Do you know what I mean? So I think sometimes, but obviously, I love that he's not an aggressive person. But again, I don't want him to be pushed over. So it is important that you have that in him. I know Jada's much more like that. Jada's a bit more. She's like, nah, I ain't letting someone bully me. But then there was points with girls, it's different as well.
It's usually the first one is soft, and then the second one is.
I think it's the opposite way around for me.
Yeah, because for a lot of cases that I know, everyone's always like, the younger ones generally, they're not so, like, I think it's because you over-parent the older one. Like, oh, soft, blah, blah, blah. And then the younger one, you're like,
whatever.
Yeah, I've already had a kid. Drop it on his head, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's probably more like Corey.
Yeah.
So Corey probably would take nothing. But again, he's not. Again, none of them are like because I'm not a violent person. Like, it's funny because obviously I do kickboxing and things like that. And when I go into a ring and we're doing like a competition or something, people say to me, "Oh, you look really like you're going to kill me." I'm like, I just like change my stance, or my facial expression changes, and they're like, "Oh, you look really scary when I'm fighting." People I spar with.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
I would actually love to see it, because I only ever see you as
exactly. I'm like, I'm genuinely like a gentle. I say gentle giant. Yes, of the giant. But you know what I mean. But when I get into like a ring and I get into that zone, obviously my facial expression changes and I suddenly become something different. Which is actually where I got the idea Bulldog from Ultimate Tag, really, because it comes from that kind of how I change I go from nice gentle Mowgli to the Bulldog, who's a bit more aggressive in his actions. But yeah, I don't know. But so for me, I'm always so like, I'm so gentle generally. I'm not a violent person at all. So
so we kind of covered what would you do if your kids were bullied.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Go on.
How would you tell your kids to deal with you? Because you're not a bully at school, but you're a little twat.
Oh, yeah.
So, how are you dealing with it? How are you telling them? So you've got some little fool that's telling your kids they're not this, they're not that.
Get some thick skin.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
but also
Sticks and stones, old school.
Yeah,
Old school, sticks and
100%.
stones. Break
Because,
bones.
like,
They probably don't even know. I should finish it. Names never hurt. Oh. Do you believe in that? Do you believe in that?
I say that to Ivy all the time.
Yeah.
Because Ivy, again, the difference is, so Sienna, the way she's grown up with me, her banner's like top tier, innit?
Yeah.
So she's fucking, it's like she can rip into people, innit?
Mm-hmm.
And me and Sienna will have like slagging matches.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, Dad, can I rip into you? And I'm like, just know, yeah,
I'm ripping back.
yeah, you're gonna cry, I ain't. So, but she's got banner, like, so she can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
As Ivy, she's recently started developing more thicker skin,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice because before I could make Ivy cry like that.
Yeah.
And that's not something to be proud of. But I was just like, if you're crying from me saying a couple of things to you,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen when you start going to high school, bro?
100%.
You're going to have a lot worse thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to toughen up a bit because ultimately sticks and stones. And she knows that saying off by heart because I'm like, what I do to you, I'm trying to toughen you up a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the real world is a horrible place.
100%.
So yeah, like I feel that I've been preparing Sienna's. I don't have any doubts that Sienna won't struggle when she goes, will struggle when she goes to school when she goes to secondary school, because I think she's gobby, man.
She's a confident girl anyway.
She's gobby as anything. Like honestly, that kid, she's just, she's mouth.
She has got all the confidence.
Yeah, she just doesn't care, and that's the beauty of it. Like she just,
that's what you want. I know from my mum saying sticks and stones. So when I was growing up, I grew up in Fishmead, which back then,
shithole.
Well, actually, back then I was probably one of maybe 3 mixed race black families, Caribbean black, not Indian, as this fool's going to straight away make a joke on. But anyway, right. But I grew up and there was very few black families, but there was in my school there was hardly any black kids, and I got some racism from my teachers, so little things that you get from schools and from teachers. So my mum was always of the nature of like, my mum grew up with a lot of racism. Growing up, obviously in the 70s, she was
all of that.
Yeah, wog socket.
Yeah,
that's deep, as well.
Like
that's
some of the stuff
crazy.
And you think, I
don't even know if we can air those. We have
getting aired. We're black, so fuck it.
Yeah,
but like, I do genuinely think, they say how much of a distance we've come from back in the day, like 60s, 70s. But it still goes on and it's still right. And
it's just under the carpet.
Yeah, that's what I always say. And I've experienced racism more in Milton Keynes than anywhere else.
I would agree, because where you come from London, so therefore there was
so more cultural.
Yeah, it was much more cultural in London, and it's taken its time to get here. Yeah. And that's what I was sort of saying. So when I was younger, there wasn't many black families in Milton Keynes. There was obviously black families, but there wasn't that many. Certainly not in my school. So my mum used to basically be like, look, you're going to get a lot of racism. So my mum,
so sick that she mentally prepared you for it.
Yeah. So literally, we used to be around the dinner table, and we used to all just cuss each other out, like for jokes. My mum would say, obviously not when I was really young, but when I was at a point with secondary school, my mum would call me in here. Do you know what I mean? She'd be like, yeah, she would say these things to us because she wanted to make sure that was prepared for it. So for me, she took the power out of the words.
Yeah.
So when I was then called those things at school, like, you're a black bastard. It's like, I used to say to people, you can't call me nothing that my mum doesn't call me around a dinner table. That used to be what I say to people all the time. They were like, what? And I was like, mate, we have this banter all day long. Yeah. Me and my mum, my siblings, we have these conversations all the time. So I'm not shocked by when you say it to me. I'm just like, cool, man. That's what you feel. Do you know what I mean? And then I would come back. My mum would be like, yeah, well, you can say this and that. And my mum would give me things to say back. And I'm like, so it was kind of like she prepared me because she knew that there was going to be some racism. There was going to be some things like that out there. So for me, I already had the things to say back. Yeah. And like you say, it's just preparing you for the sticks and stones, because you, like you say, I mean, names can hurt. They can hurt, but only if you give them the power to hurt. Yeah. And now, I mean, we talk about, we talk about racism and things like that. Again, I have this kind of view, and with my friends, I have a good friend group of all different cultures, and we all are constantly racist to each other. Right? We always are, and always have been, right? And I think we're all different cultures, but we're always taking the mick out of each other. And I think so. People listen to us, like, oh my god, like you, but because we don't have those words, don't have any power to us.
Yeah.
They're just a laugh. It's just joking with stereotypes.
So I actually despise the word nigger. Like, one of my boys, John, he will voice note me and he'll drop that N-bomb constant. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't like it because there's Richard Pryor. I don't know if you know much about him, but he said when he went to Africa, he never met one nigger. And then he came back and his whole comedy sketch changed.
Yeah.
Because before it was nigga, 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 nigga. Like every fucking other word. But then when he came back from Africa, his whole like sketch completely changed. He never used the word again.
Yeah.
Because he was like out there. I think he won. And that was kind of, I feel like it's a powerful word and we are using it all the time. Kind of lessens the severity of actually the word meaning.
I think when you take a word like that word was used in a derogative sense to describe people, coming from the word negro, right? So, which means black in Spanish. Am I right? Could be wrong. So that was a way of kind of offending black people, and kind of keeping them oppressed or whatever, you know. But I feel like once you not embrace it, but once you kind of take that power away, it's like, for example, if I was to call you a word in Spanish that just meant something like you're an absolute dickhead, right? But I said it in Spanish and you didn't understand the word, you're not going to be offended by it, right? So if I say to you something in another language, you just, okay, cool, I don't know what you said. So from when you don't know what a word is, then you're not actually offended by it.
But also in context, isn't it? So if you're saying it in an aggressive way to me.
Of course, context does make a massive difference.
So for example, like I remember when I was a kid, like some you call me coloured. And that, honestly, I think my cousin had to hold me back. I was crying from anger. I wanted to smash this geezer's face in. But like,
it's funny.
Now, if a 80, 90-year-old white man was like, oh yeah, that coloured lad over there, I wouldn't take offense by it because he doesn't understand it's culturally inept to be using that word. Yeah. And just like if I was to meet someone who was our age, I'm like our age. But like if we met someone from South Africa and they were like, they referred to me as coloured, I'd be like, I know that culturally that's what in South Africa, that's what they like my South Africans. Just read Nelson Mandela's book. But yeah, so like if that word got used to describe me as coloured, I'd be like, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But if someone white who's our age called me coloured, I'd be offended. I know that sounds stupid.
I do know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying because they should know that it's an offensive word.
Yeah.
A lot of them still don't. A lot of people don't. But I remember meeting like ex-girlfriends' parents, and they're like, "Oh, is he? Like, it's a coloured guy. It's a coloured." And then they'll be like, "No, don't call him coloured." Like, you know, I remember, and I say, "Don't call it. Don't
make it a point."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I actually, if they was like,
what can I use? Yeah, that's fine because because it makes sense. They're just trying to be open to 100%. And it's a weird one because a lot of people don't really know what to call you. I mean, they don't really have to specify. To be honest, you don't go that white lad. You know what I mean? But you don't really have to specify. But if you're going to specify, that's probably not the best one. I think. Have you seen that? There's a poem called "I'm Not Colored." I can't. It's basically about saying, but essentially that black people, brown skin, brown eyes, brown lips. And then you go white people who got white hair, white skin, blonde hair. We're actually more coloured than we are. 100%. No one's actually white and no one's actually black. That's what makes me laugh because they're all just shades. But I think like you say, like intent. And my nan's white. So my nan, when she was younger, would have been racist, and my mum dealt with some racism for my own mum.
Yeah.
Initially growing up, and obviously when my mum was dating a black guy. Do you know what I mean? My mum liked black guys, clearly. So that was difficult for my mum growing up. But obviously then, I'm going to say it, I was like my nan's favourite, you know. I'm going to say it. My cousins are going to go mental at me now.
But they won't, because they know that you're not.
Yeah. Well, my nan's not here anymore, but my nan absolutely loved me. And I think, and I'd never like, for older people, they just grew up in a different era to us. And that's the thing, you have to respect where they grew up and what they grew up with.
It's also being able to kind of grow with the times and learn that actually there's nothing actually wrong with a different ethnicity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, my mother-in-law's ex, prick, racist. And I literally, from the moment I met him, I didn't really vibe with him. And then my boy came up to meet me, and he was just like, after 10 minutes of meeting this guy, I was like, bro, is he racist? And I was like, I ain't saying nothing. But I said, I was like, I don't want him having like any kind of granddad title. Like he's not. So they tried to be like, oh yeah, Grampy, da da da. I was like, my daughter is not calling him Grampy, because ultimately the guy's racist, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're Asian, I'm black. My kid's gonna be a mixture of both.
Yeah.
There's no way like this guy is gonna have the titlement of Grampy or granddad or anything like that when he's a racist. Like full stop. And then they're carrying, oh, he's just old school, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, because my nan's next door neighbor, he was white. He died when he was 102. I used to, from when I was a baby, I used to go to his yard,
Yeah.
I never felt one air of racism from him.
Yeah.
And he's old as fuck and white.
Yeah.
And I used to go
so he learned.
Do you know what I mean? So, and he lived next door to a Spanish woman for 50 plus years. So there was no air of racism from him.
Also, it's a choice, isn't it? That's
exactly.
What
Racism is a choice.
Yeah.
We've gone well off piece about race. We were talking about bullying.
Well, yeah,
I feel like it
is part of bullying.
Yeah.
For us, it's been part of bullying because as much as we might, like you say, you might not have been bullied at school, but you probably had racism at school.
Yeah.
So it's part of the bullying.
I went to a very black school.
Oh, yeah.
I went in South London.
Well, yeah.
Big up for us still. Yeah, I mean.
Right, what's the next thing on our list then?
So I feel like best way to safeguard against it.
We kind of covered it.
Yeah, like basically having conversations with your children. And thankfully, from day dot, I've kind of been like, talk to me. If you've got any problems at all, like I'm long in the tooth, I will help you figure it out. If I can't, I will always do my best to help you figure it out.
Yeah, I think communication is the key, isn't it? Really,
100%.
particularly your kids. Your kids have to know that they can come to you for anything, whether even if they're in the wrong. I think that's really important. But being able to come to when they come to you in the wrong, yeah. And I don't. That's something that happens much later on, I think. But I think having the ability to speak openly, if you particularly like, if you don't have an open relationship with your kids, you know, one of the scariest things, and that's off bullying, but one of the scariest things to me is I never forget when Jada was younger, and she'd want to go to like someone else's house. Again, off piece a little bit, but I'd be like, I don't know this dad. I don't know this. Do you know what I mean? And I don't trust people very easily. So to me, trust is earned, not just granted. It's earned. And so I have to build up a trust in someone. And so I used to be like, I don't like that sort of thing. So, but having the fact that Jada could be open and talk to me about anything. We're very open, as we spoke about before. But I knew then that I knew if there was a problem that she was having, bullying, something like that, with boys, she can come and talk to me about any of it. And I think if you have that open communication, that's the best way to stop any of that, really.
See, Dan thinks everyone's a paedophile. So my kid's not allowed to sleep over at anyone's houses.
Paedophile till proven innocent.
Yeah, 100%. Like, because she watches so much American like crime stuff, so she's very much like, nah, that like the kids aren't allowed to go anywhere. Which I love that about them, because she's so adamant of no, they can't go anywhere, because I think that I don't know their parents, I don't know who they're bringing into the house. It's not even just
uncles, other people.
Like you can stay there, but then they might just have one of their mates over. But you don't know who their mate is.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's now you're bringing in a whole different.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm the same. It's probably having a daughter.
Yeah.
Probably the hardest. I mean,
So I'm
the same with boys.
Yeah, I'm a bit more. So because I know how strong-minded she is about it, I'm just. This is another topic point. We'll have a later date, but like mum v dad. Definitely. But like, I'm very much like, whatever you say goes. I don't get invested in it because I know she's so heavily invested in it.
Yeah.
So it saves my energy for other stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she's like, I don't want to stay there. I don't want to stay there. I don't want to stay there. And I'm like, cool, whatever you want to do. I don't want. Like, I'm very much like we co-parent really well in terms of what I say goes, what she says goes.
Yeah.
And the kids are like,
they get nothing.
Yeah, like basically like
like mum said no.
Yeah.
Dad said yes, so it's still a no.
Yeah, that's it pretty much. And that's the thing, that's the beauty of it and that's where I want to talk about like mums with dads, because we've always just had that arrangement of if I say something, you back me. If you say something, I'll back you. Even if like I'll tell them off for doing something and then she'll bring me in the kitchen and be like, oh no, like that was a bit harsh. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, cool.
I'll be honest. I mean, we would talk about that over time, but that's definitely something that's happened in my relationship as well. But let's not go too far off piece with it.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a definite decent subject. So we'll definitely talk about that at another point. I think that's a good, nice conversation to have.
So safeguard against it.
Yeah.
Communicate. Basically,
communicate.
Communicate.
Yeah.
All right. So your kids are older, so this will help more. This will be more leaning towards you. Safeguarding against online bullying, because that's fucking rife at the moment. So online bullying, and your kids have phones.
Yeah, so my kids have phones. Actually, the oldest two, Corey doesn't. And they have PCs. There's Roblox, there's Discord, there's so many different things that they can have on. So I have a fingerprint to both my kids' phones, so I can go into them whenever I want to. I also have the family link, so that any app they download, I have to accept it first, so I can also at least see the app. But obviously,
so family link. Talk to me about it. Talk to me about family link.
So that's a Google, just a part. It's a Google app that you use to kind of lock down apps, and they have to accept apps before they. It's already starting talking to me, mate. It starts to accept apps. You know, they have to ask for an accept. And when we talked about the podcast before, on our Father's Day one, the kids were saying like, he has to accept the app.
Yeah.
So they have to accept an app. So that's good, so you can see what they're actually downloading, but then you can see how many hours they're on it, but that won't stop them from being bullied. Now, you can't really stop kids from talking badly to each other. So we constantly talk about it. And I always say, Callum will like, oh yeah, I'm talking to my mate here. And I was like, well, how do you know? And he's like, yeah, that could be a dude, the voice changer. So I constantly say that could be a 40-year-old man. He's like, yeah, but I don't care. I'm not giving him any of my details. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, well, as long as you don't tell him where you live, you don't tell him how old you are, you don't tell him nothing personal, that way. And he's like, yeah, and he don't know I could be an adult. And I'm like, good, have that mentality, because so for Callan's the one who tends to play online with his friends. He plays on the old Meta Quest or whatever. And he's the one who will talk to people there. So he's much more vocal. To be honest with you, the entire street hears him. So we can hear the kids talking because he's like, yeah, I'm over here, running around like a damn gorilla. Anyway, so he's pretty cool. And I talk to him a lot about it. Corey's much more quiet, but he's not he's not really online like that yet. Certainly not in my house anyway. But I think, again, it's just open communication. I constantly say to them, like, you don't ever know. I tell them, if you see it on a screen, it
could be anything.
It can be that's anything, news, anything. In fact, actually, Callan called me a second ago before we did this filming, and he was basically a bit upset because he basically talked about this whole Russia thing happening, and his teacher said that Russia's threatened us with war, whatever. And I said to him, so he was upset. He was a bit like, Dad, I'm a bit worried. And I was like, look, these things happen all the time. But I said to you, remember, if you see it on a screen, take it with a pinch of salt. Because if anything you see and hear, don't just assume it's real, because there's so much with the AI stuff and things like that. So just showing them what is possible as well when you actually put videos up and say, look, now that's real. So my kids always come up to me and go, Dad, is this real? They'll show me a video. Is that real, do you think? Or is that true? And they'll always ask me. And I'm like, Probably not. If it's on the video, probably not. 90% of the time, no. And that's how I approach it. So they kind of look onto. Jada's got a little bit different because now she has a bit more privacy. So I have to give her the privacy, but she knows that at any point in time I can check, but I don't. I don't honestly check on her phone. I don't do that. Also, it's a little bit again off topic, but they have she has a private, obviously, conversation with her own mum on her WhatsApps and stuff like that, and with me. So I don't go on her stuff, So I want to give her that freedom to know that I'm not going to be going through your stuff because she might be worried.
It's all about trust at the end of the day.
Exactly. So I trust her to let me know if something's going wrong. But there is also that moment where I can, if I need to, and I have the passwords to things and stuff like that. But obviously, mate, I'll never forget one time I blocked on her laptop. I blocked the internet for certain things or whatever. I was blocked YouTube or whatever I blocked. I can't remember what it was. She worked out that if you go on incognito, you can still access the stuff. Oh, and then Callan's proper clued up on stuff as well. So they go on and they're bypassing stuff. You're going I thought I blocked that. And it's they bypass. I'm like, oh, okay, so you figured that out. So, but luckily my boys sort me out and block all that stuff for me. But yeah, what about for you? What is your biggest worry when it comes to that? Do you feel like your kids will communicate with you, or they've not got phones yet? Well, they have got one of them.
Five has.
Yeah.
And so I've said to her, you have to have, me and your mum have access to your phone. I'm never on her phone. Her mum checks her phone and all that kind of stuff. But I'm I never do. And there was one point where she was getting added to all these little group chats, but she's 11, innit? So they just chat shit. Her mum was going through her phone, looking and everything else. And she was like, you need to come out of all these group chats.
Yeah, because they're inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, and they're just talking rubbish.
The group chats are the worst because that's where the inappropriate, they're all banter off each other. And then before you know it's weird pictures are getting put in and stuff like that.
And then there was one point where I think I don't know, but I was quite sensible in it. And that's credit to her that she is a very sensible kid. So I feel like if there was something going on, she shows her emotions so much. You'd be able to tell. So I feel I think she's going to be good. I don't know. I'm genuinely kind of a bit worried about her when she goes to secondary school because she is a people pleaser. She is very soft. So I want to get her into martial arts and I want to get her into ideally jiu-jitsu. But there's not really any good kids jiu-jitsu classes within Milton Keynes.
I know one.
All right, sound.
Yeah, no, literally above my parkour gym. Sound.
Icon.
I don't know what it's called. Right. I just know the guy named Z. But it's a decent club and the guy's good. Yeah, for sure. Off air. But yeah, no, I actually genuinely believe jiu-jitsu for girls is banging because obviously if they're ever going to get to a situation where they're being pinned to the ground,
that's exactly my thought process.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely learning ground control. I've done Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Ground control is,
and also because she's not. I don't think she's physically strong. She's just thick, thin. And she's got long limbs, but she's mad flexible. So she'll be able to get her grip would be, and her guard would be unreal.
I sparred a girl called Monica, and honestly, bro, I sparred her jiu-jitsu, strong as hell, man. Yeah. But technical as well. I'm using brute strength and ignorance trying to fight her off, and I've got Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, and she's strong, technical wise, wicked, mate. So it's worth doing, I think.
Yeah. So I think, and also I've said as a rule for my kids, you have to have a good level of education. Because I left school at 15. So I want you to have a good level of education, and I also want you to be a black belt in some form of martial arts. For me personally, I'd want it to be jiu-jitsu. But then let them kind of...
Yeah.
I want them to have a basis of jiu-jitsu anyway, because obviously I think it's important for a girl to have that kind of grounding.
Definitely.
But yeah, so... All right, so stats about it. I'm not going to do stats about it. Something controversial to say. All right, so this is I think, in this day and age, all right, people are fucking soft.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I feel that a lot of bullying happens because one, they're not thick-skinned enough,
Mm-hmm.
and I know people are going to send me in the comments.
Yeah, you're going to definitely get some comments on that one.
But as I said to you the other day,
You don't go.
I'll fall on my sword. Like I don't mind, because I feel that people are too sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone wants to grab a tissue about everything that needs to be said.
Yeah.
No one's actually got a backbone to defend themselves because they just want to go and cry and say they've got anxiety or depression or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not falling away by any means that mental health struggles are definitely real and definitely there. And I've myself have struggled with.
It's a subject we're actually going to cover.
So I'm not saying that at all, but I do think cancel culture is definitely there, which means that people are just, there's no repercussions for it because everyone just wants to cry and say, oh yeah, he's offended me. And they get offended by everything.
I also, I mean, I don't feel like, again, and I think quite a lot of people feel the same. I certainly do. But I think people are almost now scared to say that. Like you said, controversial. It's not really that controversial.
Yeah,
it's just a point of view. It's
not necessarily man up, because that's
a bad saying now.
Yeah.
You know, but again,
exactly. One of our first episodes, you said that you needed to man up.
Exactly. Yeah. And I definitely did, because I took things, I was getting upset with things too much. And I think I realized that we say don't say man up and stuff like that. And I think there was a moment where we need to be able to be vulnerable, but in the same breath, and I was actually having this conversation yesterday, right? I think we've lost a little bit of the man. We can probably talk about this.
Which is where stoicism comes in.
Yeah, I don't know about stoicism because I barely know what it means. I learned it today. But what I mean is, men nowadays, more so men, we need to learn to be the man and the strong on the street, right? You know, okay. You know how you get lady in the street but freak in the bed, right? You ever heard that saying, innit? Right? Right. I reckon for men, it's really going to be a man on the street, but at home, a boy or whatever you want to call it.
No, because I still want my kids to see a man at home.
Yes, but what I'm saying is they don't need to see the man at home in his aggressive defended state.
No, not necessarily.
His defended state, they will see on the street.
But then you're saying that ultimately, then a man to be a man has to be aggressive.
No. What I'm saying is not aggressive, but assertive, strong, protective, and I think we've lost a lot of those qualities as men. We kind of become, because now we tend to go the opposite way sometimes when we become too in touch with our sensitive side, and so we kind of become these men that are sensitive on the street. Now, as a woman, you want a man to be able, maybe not all women, but a man to be able to protect you, right, and to look after you. It is, yeah. Maybe it's the wrong thing to say. Definitely the wrong subject, but I feel like being able to be strong on the street, right? But then when you can come back home and you're with your missus or you're with your kids, and you can have a cuddle with your missus and your kids, and be. I don't need to be soft out on the street, and I'm not saying you've got to go fighting people. What I'm saying is I don't have to be crying on the street. If someone was to do something that maybe upset me on the street, I'm not going to sit and cry on the street. I might come back and cry on my bed on my own, in my pillow, rocking away. But what I'm saying is that's fine, but you need to be able to present yourself. It's like when you come back to your girl at home or your kids at home, that's your happy place. That's your safe place. That's your safe haven. And everyone should have a place where they can be that. And I think that comes a lot with women being able to allow their man to be that way. And I think there's a massive subject here. And I have a lot of different views on it. I just think that sometimes we've now, exactly like you're saying, is we get offended far too easily, and we get upset far too easily. I don't generally get upset with anything anyone ever says. I'm not offended by anything people say to me. You can't offend me, because I just won't be offended by anything, even if you meant it intentionally. I don't really accept it. So therefore it never offends me. It almost just makes me laugh, or I just feel sorry for you. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're someone who's trying to offend me, then that's not going to work to me. Do you know what I mean? So and that's just how I was taught growing up. My mum would tell me to take away the power of someone else by not being offended, not being upset with them. And then
so technically that's kind of where we're going with it, because you're saying there's not really, so just taking away the power. So basically having a thicker skin. And,
100%.
like, being more adept to like being verbally abused. Because I think obviously physical abuse is very different. Like if you're in school and you've got some fucking idiot trying to take your lunch and then slap you about a bit and all that kind of stuff, that's one thing. But if you're like, oh, you stink, and they keep on saying, oh, you stink.
Yeah, you've got to come back with something.
Yeah, and like this is where I'm saying that's where you need to have thicker skin. So what I'm saying isn't, I'm not taking away from bullying at all.
Yeah.
I'm saying bullying is a horrible thing and I don't want to see anyone getting bullied.
Yeah.
But as a caveat, I feel like the stats of bullying is going up because people don't know how to be verbally abused and like not get offended by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was going.
There's a saying that you can only be, bullies only bully people that can be bullied. And you, as a bully, you're going to
seek of people fucking bully.
Exactly. But if you're a bully, you'll seek out that weaker person. And as soon as you get a little reaction, that person starts crying automatically, like, haha, I've got to that person. Yeah. And that person is now in your sights. So, and it's completely different subject, but I worked with a person that works with like protection. So protects like trains the SAS to about protecting people, training people. And they call it the 3 E's, but then there's other parts to it. But I'm not going to go into too many details. But victims are only victims because they allow themselves to be a victim. Yeah. So if you're a person, for example, you're walking on I know, definitely. But if you no, I don't mean all victims, but say for example, right, you're walking out of Tesco's, you've got your shopping and you're sitting there with your phone and you're not even concentrating. You walk past a guy. Exactly. Or you walk past a guy that maybe there's a video that this guy, and when he uses it in his training, it's actually this guy walks and looks at this woman as he's going, this is a real video. And he looks at this woman and sees her go past. And she didn't see, because she's too busy on her phone, she didn't even notice him, right? So then she wasn't really aware of her surroundings, right? So then what happened is later on that day, basically, he pushed her in the back of her car and he actually killed her, right? But she could have stopped that by one simple thing. Not necessarily stopped it, but certainly lowered her risk by being more aware. So if someone's looking at you as a person to attack, the minute you make eye contact with that person and you look at them and you may go, "You're right, mate." Now you've no longer as much of a victim to, so now they're like, "Oh no, there's an easier one." Yeah. So to stop yourself being bullied, don't make yourself the easiest victim. Yeah. Make yourself a harder victim. And then they're less likely to be, same as if you haven't got to run. If you're trying to get away from a dog, you haven't got to be the fastest person. You just don't want to be the slowest. Yeah. Right? Does that make sense? So ultimately, if you don't want to be bullied, then you've got to stand up for yourself a little bit. And then that way, and that's difficult to teach kids. And I'm not saying, again, it's not right on the bully, but there's always going to be a bully. There's always going to be someone out there. And ultimately, bullies are people that have just had bad lives. Let's be honest. They're actually, so I just feel sorry for that person.
And I think as I've got older as well, I've kind of, when I've heard stories about a kid being a bully, like, I can tell I'm older because I'm like, I wonder what's going on in their life for them to want to do that. And I feel like just sitting down with that person and being like, what's going on? Yeah. And this is what I'd love to do mentoring, because like,
I'll actually do that.
Yeah. But like, I'd love to do mentoring because I was actually going to go. So I wasn't actually going to try and get into mentoring before, but I feel like I'm very empathetic in my older age, and like I'm very diplomatic anyway.
Yeah.
And I always say there's always 3 sides to any story, like his side, her side, and the truth. So yeah, like this is a whole nother subject point, but
it's true. Like, I think bullies.
So we're controversial then, because we both agree.
I agree, and I think a lot of people will, but I think a lot of people will be a little bit. There'll be some people that are upset about it, clearly. But that's what we're talking about, you know. But there's going to be a lot of people that agree with us, and I think, and people might disagree. Feel free to comment. But I think, like you're saying, with that whole mentoring thing, I speak to a lot of people that are bullies at school, and because I do mentoring with schools, so therefore I spoke to a lot of kids that are like, oh yeah, they want, or they try and do it in front of me. And I think sometimes when you actually get to the nitty gritty of that kid, you'll realize that kid's probably going through a hell of a lot already. So not all bullies, but most bullies have it's more of a reflection on them and they've got problems themselves. So realistically, when a teacher notices a bully, they should probably straight away mark that kid as this kid's kind of doing stuff that he probably shouldn't be doing. Let's start looking into how that kid's life is, rather than looking at the kids that are the victim of it, and saying, oh, but both sides. As a parent, we can only prepare ourselves for there are horrible people in the world and there are nice people in the world, and there's the in-betweens. You've got to prepare yourself for the worst, but hope for the best. Yeah. And that's how I do it anyway. So you're never going to impress everyone and please everyone, but the best you can. I mean, it's not that controversial, really.
No, I thought it was going to be. Well,
we'll see. We'll see on the comments.
I thought you were going to be like, nah, bro, you can't say that. But you actually...
No, because I'm like that as well.
No, I actually thought you were going to send to me and be like, nah, bro, you can't say that.
I mean, look, part of me thinks, well, maybe should we say that online? Because like people are going to absolutely annihilate us for it.
Come for me in the comments. I don't mind.
I think I'd actually really be interested to see how many people actually agree and how many people disagree. I'd actually be really interested to see that, because I think you have to prepare yourself for everyone in the world. So therefore, and there are some horrible people out there. So if you prepare your kids for that and they don't have to deal with that, perfect. But if they do, then they're already they're adapt to it. So, I know people say, we shouldn't have to prepare our kids for horrible people, but because they should just not be horrible people. But there's always going to be horrible people. Yeah, so,
but that's
the world.
In gentle parenting and Karen, I mean,
oh, well, that's a whole other story, isn't it? Well, that's bullying.
Yeah,
I think we got that nailed. Definitely, probably get kicked off air fairly soon. In this one podcast, we've said several racial words. So let's hope that no one gets offended by those. So if we have offended you by those, apologies.
He's apologising,
but it's too late. It was censored. We're off. But yeah, I think it's been a good subject and a really interesting subject. So we'd love to hear if you guys have had any bullying stories, or where you maybe you are a bully or was a bully or was bullied. And it ain't just kids as well. Bullied at work. I know some people that have been bullied at work a lot, and I think that's crazy because I know really close to home some people that have definitely been absolute idiots at work. For people that are nearest and dearest to me, I'm not going to detail it, but I think there's some idiots out there that do that sort of thing. So if you are a bully, maybe comment and let us know, and we'll absolutely roast you.
No, but I want to hear how you would deal with your kid being bullied, how you would deal with your kid being a bully as well. That'd be interesting to hear, from a parent's point of view, how you dealt with your kid being a bully, and your own bullying journeys and stories of how you were when you was a kid, if you were bullied, how it shaped you as an adult. So there's loads of different topic points. So if you comment to us, or even just write us a message on Instagram, and then we'll discuss it, and then we'll do some bonus content maybe.
I think we should come back to it and then maybe talk about some of the points as well.
Sound.
But yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it there. Share with our relatable dads and look forward to the next episode.
Yeah. Thanks very much for watching.
Peace.
Dad, are you finished yet? Dad.
Yeah, man. We finished this episode now. Come on, let's go out, kids.